Now, anybody have any questions? I don't have to answer questions, okay. But I will. I'll try anyway. Anybody want to ask any questions?
Yeah, Nancy, did you all, the legislative body, just give yourselves an increase or raise the base salary, when was it, last fall? To what? What's the base salary?
I believe it is 60,000.
What are you making?
60,000.
50,000?
60.
60?
I started at 42,000.
Okay. Do you think a legislator that's making over probably, what, 100, 150, is that warranted?
You know, I was not there when that was, when they made that rule, and
Did you vote on increasing the base salary?
I did vote on increasing the salary. I tried to amend it because I did not feel like the amount was justified at the time, but I did not get enough support for my amendment.
Over the last few months, do you have any idea of what the average meeting time for you all are?
The meeting times?
Right.
Are you talking about just the session times or the?
Your general session of your legislative body.
It runs less than a half hour normally for our session time.
And that, do you think that that justifies the
Well,
large?
that's not, see, I work full-time. I am a full-time legislator because I retired from my job so that I could be a full-time legislator because I taught school. When I first became a legislator, I was still teaching, and I taught for that first year. And I found that I could not be a full-time legislator if I continued to teach because there were a lot of things. I wanted to be able to get out, go to all the meetings, meet the people, be able to do home visits and go to all the events so that I could know what's going on. And so I chose to retire. I realized I was eligible to retire from teaching, so that made it easier for me. But I have spent, a lot of time.
How many laws have you
my
written?
time. We get a lot of phone calls.
How many laws have you written?
I've not written a law. We don't normally write resolutions. Usually our resolutions come over from the executive branch. They
Elected
usually
legislators are
involve,
lawmakers.
Huh?
Elected legislators are lawmakers.
We do.
That's your primary responsibility.
We do sometimes change the code. Sometimes we change the election rules. But the resolutions, usually they involve either applying for grants, acquiring land, just like some of the things we've done, like the new, when we need to build a new senior site, those kinds of things. So the programs are all under the executive branch. So therefore, most of the things like that, they come into the executive branch. So they usually, when we have needs, as the other legislators have said, when we hear about needs, we discuss them among ourselves. We kind of talk about what do you think is something, what are you hearing? What are some things we might be needing? Then we discuss it with legislature. We discuss with the executive branch, and then we try to find out, is this something we can do? Can we do this? Build a new senior site.
Did you all approve the 100,000 that was put into naming the ballpark?
We did not do that. That did not come under our duties.
That was under the enterprises.
What about the amount of money that was approved to build the dorms at OU? How much money was that?
I have no idea.
Do you all get reports from the enterprises?
We get a yearly report.
How many LLCs do we have?
I'm not sure.
What's the difference between the enterprises and Chickasaw Nation Industries?
Well, the enterprises are all under the Commerce Division. CNI, is that what you're talking about, Chickasaw Nation Industries?
Yes.
Well, they handle most of the contract work, and whereas the enterprises handles the actual businesses like the casinos and all the other businesses that we have, like Bedray and of course, Remington, Lone Star, all of the businesses, Solera, all those come in here.
Do you think it's justified in having one of your members sit on the Chickasaw Nation Industries board and being paid $2,000 a month?
Well, I think it's good to have legislators sit on the board sometimes so that they can get information. It helps us to know, sometimes kind of what's going on.
But if they're
And-
paid $2,000
Well,
a
many
month,
times, I think it's within their rights to do that, and many times the money is, compensates for the time that they spend, and also their travel expenses, that's the way it's been
but
explained
aren't
to
you
me.
being paid, aren't they being paid as a legislator?
Yes.
Then why are they being paid an extra $2,000 a month?
Well, because many times it takes extra time out of their busy schedule, I guess. You know, I mean, usually if you sit on a board, you know, you're compensated for some kind of time that you have to invest in that. And a lot of times it's
But
because of
you're
your
already
expertise.
they're already being paid as an elected person
Uh-huh.
through the Chickasaw Nation.
Well, it would be like anybody else, though. I mean, if you're getting paid at your business, but then they ask you to sit on that board and they're going to pay you so much money for your time and travel for coming up there, then, I mean, it's in addition to, it's the way I see it, just like any other business person that might be asked to sit on a board.
Any other questions? Yes.
Got one. You were talking about programs, and last year I worked my final thing with the summer youth program,
Mm-hmm.
and it's supposed to go from from first week of June till almost August, and it just went from the first. Yeah, it was only like 4 weeks or so, a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't care about money or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing is job experience for the younger ones. And so, are there steps or so to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Well, the summer youth program is a fantastic program and we try to employ as many youth as we can. And what happened that last year was they did have so many kids that applied, and they were short on the number of businesses that they could put them in. And so they just ended up making the whole program a little bit shorter rather than increase, having it the regular length of time. But that's the thing with all our programs. I mean, as our nation grows, as we get more and more citizens, all of our people that want these programs grows. And I mean, so when we have a program, it may start out with a set number of people in it, but in 5-10 years, it's doubled, tripled, or quadrupled the number of people that are now using that program. So, of course, now our profits have been good, so I mean, that's good. We've been able to keep up with it. But just like the elderly assistance program, I just want to speak to that. At the time that came up, that was not, we did not know if there, how much money it was going to cost. The person that brought the resolution to the floor did not let us know, this is going to cost this much money, this is how many people actually participate in it or anything like that. So what we did was we called in all the people that, like our social services administrator, to say, do you have a need? How many people do you have coming in every month that are actually needing more help? Well, they have all kinds of programs that they can use besides just the Elderly Energy Assistance Program to help people who need help, and even for middle-aged people. If you have an immediate need, an emergency, you can get help. So anytime you know of somebody, or if you have a need, go to the area offices, because they have not only the federal money that they can give to so many programs, but they also have tribal money that they put in there and match that. And so if the people are in a certain economic bracket, then we have lots of ways that we can help them besides just the 2 times a year or whatever. So, anytime you know somebody that has a need, go to the area office and ask, is there some help? And then if not, come to us. And maybe we can, if we have enough need, then we can work on ways to try to increase the program and, to meet the needs of the people. So.
Nancy, one other question. Do you have any idea how much federal money the tribe is receiving for college students?
Oh, for college scholarships?
Right.
Is that what you're saying, or something?
Yeah.
No, I don't. But I'll find out that answer because, it's not broken down that way to us. And we just have so much. We see the budget. We see how much that we approved to go into the budget towards college. But we help a lot of people. And as far as, not getting your books paid for, always, keep after them. I don't hear very many complaints at all. The main complaint I hear is people don't get their paperwork in by the deadline. And that's the main thing. If you get your paperwork in by the deadline, most people are very, very happy. They, they get their money on time and they get everything taken care of. So I'm not getting a lot of complaints about things. But I do, So I'll ask about how much we're getting on as for college scholarships, but I do know the more we give each person means the fewer people we're going to be able to serve. So, you know, I like the way we do it. We also give incentives to our college students to make good grades and stay in school. If they make good grades, they get more money. If they stay in school, they get more money. And every year we're trying to get them to graduate too, and not just go and pill around and stay for 1 year and then decide they don't want to do it. We want them to go in there and go through 4 years and graduate, get that degree. So every year they progress to a new level, we give them more money. And then when they graduate from their degree, they get $1,000 just for graduating. So we give them lots of incentive to try to get in school, stay in there, and make good grades, and go to class. And I like that part of our program. So I think, you know, we do a really great job with what we do. So, any other
How
questions?
much money would I get if I decided to go back to school and be a professional student?
$2,500, isn't that what you a semester if you go to Murray State or East Central.
That's not working. You know, I spend more money than that.